Hello and welcome back to Suspended Fanimation. I am your host, Dennis Patholkis, and this is Saturday Morning Blast Off. Welcome, everybody in the chat. And if you're new here, welcome as well. We got a lot of new subscribers lately, so hopefully somebody's here in the chat that's new. Hey, Feisty, haven't seen you in a while. So, yeah, so everyone's talking about the earthquake. I know. Uh, I did not feel it because I'm a couple hundred miles away from it. It's closer to Las Vegas than it is to me. And people in Las Vegas felt it. People in San Francisco felt it. I did not feel it whatsoever because it's not on the same fault line. It's not a fault line that's coming down this way anyway. So yeah, I didn't feel them at all. Didn't have to worry about it. So yeah, but I know people, like I said, in San Francisco that felt it, and people in Las Vegas that felt it because it was a 7.1 earthquake. So everything's good. Yeah, I didn't feel it at all. Yeah, there you go. So I'm going to get some business out of the way. Normally I've been doing this at the end of the videos, but I'm bringing it to the beginning of the video lately just for new viewers, things like that. If you like what you see, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. You can hit the dislike button. I just say you go down in the comment section, tell me what it is you don't like. Give me some constructive criticism, feedback, if you will, about what you don't like. I do answer, just so you know. And if you want to see what I'm going to be on again live, you can go to my website, suspendedfanimation, all one word.com. And you can take a look there. My schedule is up there. I do it just every week is what I do. So things change week to week. So that's all I do is just that week. It's also mirrored up on my Facebook page for Suspended Fanimation. It's up there. And I have a Twitter, I have an Instagram, and I have a Patreon page. The Patreon page doesn't have tiers at the moment because, as Joe says, I suck. So, yeah. But no, I'm actually working on some stuff and haven't decided what the tiers are going to be as of yet. So, oh, and if you're on the fence about joining up, by the way, if you stay at the very end of the video, which is probably going to be pretty long, you'll see a video that pops up in this area that is plucked especially for you out of my video library based on everything you've been watching, and it puts it right there for you to watch. So I don't like that you're not on more often. That's my concern. Thanks, Morks. Yeah, I have a day job, man. It's kind of hard for me to do that. So I never said you suck. I thought no, it was the other Joe. It was Joker the Third, not you, Joe. It was Joker the Third. I got my Joes mixed up. Sorry, Joe. Yeah, that's what happens. So, let's see. There's been a lot of, some stuff that's happened this week. If Dennis and I don't meet up at SD, I'm going to be very sad. I'll meet you, Feisty. I will meet you. Yes. I've got to give you my contact information too. So like I said, I've been running around. So I've been trying to get stuff, put together for Comic-Con, then also just life in general. The little furry one that's laying on the couch over there doesn't know it, but she's going to the groomers later on today. So, which she really hates. And that's going to be a lot of fun. So, yeah, so there's been a couple of things that are going on here and there. Yeah. So I was going to talk, and it's going to be a spoiler-free, by the way. It's all spoiler-free, despite what that little sign says right there. It's going to be spoiler-free review of Stranger Things 3 and a spoiler-free review of Spider-Man Far From Home. So hence the Spider-Man shirt. Yes, this is the Amazing Spider-Man shirt, which has an okay logo, but Spider-Man Far From Home had the PS4 video game logo, which was actually kind of awesome, which I thought was good. Oh my God, Fanobi came in from out of the cold. What happened, dude? Did you not have work today? Or are you just getting ready to go into work, or what's going on? So anyway, let's start off with Stranger Things season 3. Good stuff, man. It actually was better than season 2. Season 2 I wasn't a fan of. Season 1 I really liked. Season 2 did not do anything for me, quite honestly. But season 3 came back in a big way. I think bringing it down to 8 episodes was the key. That's what you need to do in order to tighten stuff up. You can't just give them a whole bunch of episodes and then have them put in filler that starts spinning wheels and whatnot. Yes, season 2 added a lot to the lore, but season 3 was actually pretty good. And they do homages to different 80s movies. I'm not going to say what those movies are because, again, it's a spoiler-free zone, but some really good stuff. And stay to the very end. The credits start in the last episode there. The credits will start, but you need to stay through those credits because midway through the credits, there is another scene that may or may not give away something for season 4. I don't know because I'm still in the dark about it as well. But I have a feeling I know what's going to happen there. Yeah. And Weird Al Yankovic gave it his vote of approval as well. And mainly because it had some Weird Al Yankovic songs in it. And a character wears a Weird Al Yankovic shirt because it is taking place in 1985. Yeah. You don't want to talk about anybody's undisclosed area, Joe. That's wrong. That's just kind of violating things. I thought the most interesting thing about season 3, yes, Viking Bitch, yes. I thought it was interesting too. Yeah. I was actually eating during some of those scenes as well, Viking Bitch, and thought better of it when I was doing it. So, yeah. Heard the slash budget for Netflix originals? Possibly, but we don't know. We don't know if it's been renewed or not. I think, it's one of the most watched shows, Movie so I am fairly sure it's going to be renewed, especially after all of this. I think it'll be good. So, on to Spider-Man Far From Home. What did I think of Spider-Man Far From Home? I liked it. Was it as good as Homecoming? No. And the reason why is they being, and I'm just going to say it right now, Amy Pascal, who is the producer, her name is throughout this thing. She has stamped her name all over this movie and is trying to. So when you have certain catchphrases, certain things that are associated with a long-running character, as long-running as Spider-Man, who's been around since 1962, you try and work around that sometimes in order to get around copyright material, stuff that you don't need to go to the studio that owns that character, who owns the majority of that character, I should say, or those catchphrases and things that are iconic to that character. You do workarounds on that. And that's what was happening in this movie. It started pissing me off quite a bit, actually. And I'm a Spider-Man fan. Yes, I am. And I could see what they were doing in this. I could see what she was doing, I should say, in this. She no longer has any role at Sony. She actually is over at Universal Studios now, Amy Pascal, but she still has her hands firmly entrenched in Spider-Man and will not let go. But Mork says, I'm still not motivated enough to watch Far From Home. It was a little overly long. That was the only thing I have to say about it. It could have used an editor to tighten some stuff up. But because it ties into the in a smart way. I'm not going to say how, but yeah. I understand Feisty. I know people loved Far From Home more than Homecoming. There are some scenes in it that are really, really good. And by the way, the end scenes, so the end of credit scenes, you have 2 end of credit scenes, one of which has a character in it that I started laughing and I was like, oh my God, they actually did this, which was awesome. The other one at the very, very end of the credits was like, holy shit, they actually went there. All right. So, yeah, those 2 scenes alone are worth it in the movie for me. So, and then of course there's Mysterio. Mysterio is just awesome. That's all I can say. There's some scenes in there that are really, really good. Ned, I got really, really tired of really, really fast. I don't know why. It just happened. May, they needed some more of Aunt May in there, quite honestly, because I really wanted a little bit more Aunt May in there. I could have done with less Happy Hogan, quite honestly. I like Jon Favreau. I like the character Happy Hogan. I just didn't need so much of him in there. So Dante S says, I haven't watched a Spider-Man movie since number 3, the Tobey Maguire version. actually skip over the Andrew Garfield movies because honestly they suck, and just go to the Tom Holland movies. They're actually good, Dante. They're worth it. You'll have a lot of fun, especially if you're a Spider-Man fan. It's basically Spider-Man becoming Spider-Man is what that is in Homecoming, and a little bit through this as well. He is becoming Spider-Man still, and yes, that's what it is. Like a young Peter Parker, of course, still awkward with his powers. So, but I'll be disappointed. Well, Mr. Roboto, you already know who who Mysterio is. It's Jake Gyllenhaal who plays him. We've seen it in the trailers, so he is not that. So that's all I'm going to say. Too many one-note characterizations. Yeah, Ejar, I'd have to say that much. There were some things like that in this movie, and again, it was because they weren't focused on some things in the story, and they just kind of. But at the end of the credits, it actually makes sense for some characters. I should say for two characters in particular. That's the reason why they were played the way they were, and I actually appreciated that because I was like, this doesn't feel right. It was what I was saying throughout the movie. And then when I got to the end, I'm like, oh, that's why I didn't feel right, because it was supposed to not feel right. Okay, got it. Exactly, Mr. Roboto. There was nothing like that going on. Yeah. The second half of the movie, yeah. Well, no, I can't say anything. So if a character that is in the movie looks a little familiar, it's a bald character that's in the movie. It's because you've seen him before as a child actor in a much beloved holiday classic movie that is played on TBS 24 hours during a certain holiday that has snow and, a jolly fat man. That's all I'm going to say. So with that done, yeah, Stranger Things 3, take a look at it. It's actually really good. Again, Spider-Man Far From Home, I give it a bargain matinee price rating. So of course my rating tier goes from see it on network TV all cut up, see it on cable TV, see it on rent it, to see it in bargain matinee prices, see it full price ticket, and see it in full price ticket multiple times. So it falls within there. Not Home Alone, no. So I just arrived. I'm reading the chat. Slurmy, you stalker, you. Ejar says, I'm not saying that they have to be faithful to the source material. I realized the movie and not written page, but faithful to the characters and who they are. It's not bad, Ejar. Take a look at it. That's all I'm going to say. If you haven't watched any Spider-Man recently, go and start with Homecoming. It's actually worth it. And by the way, Zendaya, or whatever her name is a fucking horrible actress. That's all I'm going to say. Yes, I know she's in HBO's Euphoria or whatever it is, and everyone's, praising that show. I don't care. It just doesn't do anything for me. So I think we got enough people here. I can start the other portion of the podcast, and let's see what we got here. So, The Walking Dead comics, not the show, the comics, ended abruptly with issue number 193 that came out on Wednesday. Robert Kirkman just decided that that was a good time to end it. And it was an oversized issue. It was a surprise ending to everybody. And yeah, I'm kind of, I knew he said he was going to end it like around 200. That's where he was going to end it. He had an ending in mind, but I guess he just got tired of it. And as a matter of fact, he said that he got tired with the whole zombies eating people thing. That's why people haven't gotten eaten by zombies in that comic in quite a while, because he says if they've survived this long, they were not going to walk into a trap and get eaten. They've, survived that time, that long. But does this mean the TV show is going to end? No, because AMC, that's pretty much the only thing they've got going for them right now. They really don't have anything else going for them at the moment. So, honestly, 193 for a comic is a good run. Quite honestly. You were able to order 164 and 165? Huh. How many Walking Dead comics were there? There were just the one, Viking Bitch. Well, there was also like a spin-off on the Governor, if I remember correctly, but yeah. 194. Excuse me, 195. They are going to do spin-offs and prequels and sequels to the comics and all that stuff. They're not dumb. Yeah. And exactly, Pen Farm Girl. The TV cash cow will be milked as long as possible. Morks, that show is going to be living on. I mean, it's got Fear the Walking Dead and Walking Dead are its two biggest shows. Yeah, you're not going to see anything die off. The show is a zombie. It is. It really is. It's just shuffling along, and it's going to go. Yeah, I watched a little bit of this season. I mean, I kind of popped in and out at some points, and I was like, yeah, you really don't need to even watch the whole episode. All you need to do is watch the end of it. It became like a soap opera, quite honest. Well, it is a soap opera. You watch the end of an episode, and you watch the beginning of the next episode, and you're like, okay, so that's what happened. So you get what the cliffhanger is and what the resolution is. That's all it is. How I Met the Walking Big Bang. Yes. Although that might be a porno name, Marks. I don't know. They might do a movie. Actually, they are doing a movie, Mr. Roboto. So, in case you hadn't heard, on the TV show, Rick Grimes has not died. He went someplace else. Michonne is going to be leaving the show as well. Denai Garrica is leaving the show in season 10. So with that, she's not going to die either. What's going to happen is they're going to do a movie. I don't know if it's going to be an AMC TV movie or if it's going to be a movie released in theaters, but they're going to come back for that. Is what's going to happen. I watch. He was shocked at the ending, but really liked the actual story when he read it. Oh, Pen Farm World, yeah, that's. I stopped reading that. I was actually buying the trades of the comics to. I like the trades. The comics was pretty good, but I think I stopped. I can't remember where I stopped off at, but I think I might be in the 130s or the 140s on the comics, and then I just kind of stopped. Coral, where's Coral? Coral. Yeah. The zombie thing isn't played out, Viking Bitch. I still like zombie lore if it's done right. And you can do it right. And quite honestly, Greg Nicotero, when he actually directs an episode of Walking Dead, this guy's been in the game so long that he actually finds new ways of doing things, which is awesome. That's what I like when he directs an episode. I don't like it when anybody else directs an episode of that show because it just kind of gets boring. But he's been in this game so long. He's been in there since Evil Dead 1 or Evil Dead 2. I can't remember which movie. I think he started on Evil Dead 1. He might have, yeah. And so he's been in this whole horror zombie genre for decades and has seen it all, done it all. And I liked what he does with that kind of stuff. Zombies and Twinkies, just saying. Yeah, Morks, I understand. What was that about? Slurmy, what did he say? Anyone else watch the new season of Stranger Things? No spoiler, but I wasn't. Really? I already talked about it, Slurmy. Obviously, you were off doing something else when I was talking about it. So, yeah. Yeah. Well, it's good. Walking Dead has walkers, yes. Well, Evil Dead and the Deadites. Yes, I know. They're not officially zombies. Exactly. Well, are they or are they not, Mr. Roboto? Because the Deadites are actually inhabiting dead bodies. They're reanimating them. They can. They still can get killed by massive trauma, but they are still dead. So technically speaking, they are. Hey, Ed Brewer. Speaking of zombies, I'm on season 1, episode 4 of iZombie. Not bad. Hey, yeah, that's actually so. Season 1 is a little bit weird. It stumbles along until the very end, and then the very end is where it gets really good. And then yeah, season 2, season 3 is pretty awesome, I have to admit. And season 4 got pretty good, especially at the end there. There's a little stumbling blocks around midway through season 4, but not bad. And let's see. So James Gunn just came out and said that there's a Brightburn sequel being discussed right now. So for those of you who went out and saw Brightburn and liked it, there's a sequel coming up from the looks of things. He's got his hands in the fire of everything at the moment. And he's becoming really, really sought after as a director. I mean, what is it? DC now or Warner Brothers is looking at him to rebuild the DCEU. He's working on Marvel stuff, and he's working with with Kevin Feige to oversee that universe as well. And he's doing side projects as well, and he's producing things. So he is really yeah, all over the place. Yeah, sometimes my segues are not the best, Joe, but hey, there you go. That's what happens. Multitasking, exactly. It does happen from time to time. What do you want? It's Saturday morning, man. I didn't have Friday off like most of you guys did. 4th of July. Yeah, I had to go into work yesterday. Otherwise, I would have been doing nothing. Penn Farm Girl says, has anyone actually clamoring for a Brightburn sequel? Actually, some people are Penn Farm Girl. Not everyone had it off. Well, not everyone did, but yeah. Waiting for that Swamp Thing and I, Frankenstein. Yeah. Well, the Swamp Thing movie definitely is going to happen. So what else we have? So the Sandman series is going to Netflix, a live action Sandman series based on the Vertigo Comics character, of course, that's written by Neil Gaiman, is going to Netflix instead of DC Universe for an initial 11 episodes. So why is it going to Netflix instead of DC Universe? Probably because DC Universe is not going to exist after October, is what I'm guessing. And I'm fairly disappointed about this. And the other thing I'm disappointed about is that Neil Gaiman's going to executive produce alongside David Goyer. Yes, that David S. Goyer. That's all I can say. I'm tired of David Goyer. He starts things. If you want to see a spectacular failure, Krypton. Season 1, he oversaw the entirety of season 1. Then he kind of left it. And I don't think he left them any ideas. And season 2, you can kind of see them starting to flounder right now because they don't know where they're going with it. They really don't know where they're going with it. And it's starting to show. Poor DC, they are failing. They're not really failing, Joe. They're failing movie-wise, but their TV shows, they've got a shitload of TV shows out there, a lot more than Marvel does. And they've got a lot more animated stuff out there. And if AT&T would leave DC Universe alone and just actually focus on DC Universe to do the quality shows they've been doing on there and not cancel shit like Swamp Thing after one episode, they would be making a shitload of money and they would actually be doing things right, but they're not. They are deciding that, oh, we want to make movies, but we don't want to make movies about that character. We want to make it about that character, but we don't want it to be that character. We want it to be like something else. Yeah, they need to go back to basics. Exactly, Joe. And that's their problem is they want to be Marvel all of a sudden. They want to have Marvel money. And quite honestly, you need to crawl before you learn to walk. And that's what they're not doing. And exactly, Pen Farm Girl, DC Universe is much better than anybody expected. Because Titans, when it first showed up, everyone's like, yep, see, there we go. We're just getting more of the same bad shit all over again. Then Doom Patrol came out and everyone went, whoa, 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 wait a minute. So you actually can do quality programming. We want more of this. And then Swamp Thing came out and we're like, holy shit, they're actually continuing. It's not a one-off. It's not a flash in the pan. And then they cancel it. And we're like, yeah, now we're back to square one again. Exactly, Morks. Fuck Batman. Why did they announce the cancellation of Swamp Thing so soon? It kept people getting interested. No one knows, Slurmy. No one knows what the real reason is. I keep speculating it's because they spent $85 million on 10 episodes. 85 million because they were expecting to get $43 million back in tax breaks, which of course they were never going to get. They were going to get at most 12 million. So that's the reason why. And I'm sure they just ran way over budget, like triple over budget. And it shows. I mean, they actually put it into the CGI and the suit and everything. It looks really, really good. But Mr. Roboto, no, it's completely different from that. It's actually a serious take on Swamp Thing. And yeah, that one season of Constantine was good, but NBC Universal is the kiss of death for any sci-fi fantasy show. They don't have any faith in it. Their programming department, I should say, doesn't have any faith in it, and so they move shit around. Yeah, that's what they did with what was that time travel series? Timeless. Yes, Timeless kept getting moved around, different time slots, different days, so no one knew when the fuck it was on. So of course you can't build an audience when you can't even, have the audience know when it's going to be on. They didn't do it to any other shows. They didn't do it like Blue Bloods I'm sorry, that was a CBS show. They didn't do it to any of their other stupid shows that were up there, but they did it to Timeless. So why would Dick say fuck Batman? Because he got tired of him. That's all it was, Joe. It's daddy issues. That's all it is. He's going to be a pole dancer at some point in time. Yes. Stripper is what I meant. Not what the thing was that Mufinobi got in his head all of a sudden. Yeah. Swampy is great. I would have watched the second season for sure. Yeah, and the things they kept talking about, that if they went forward with another season, Swamp Thing would have been fighting vampires and werewolves and other supernatural creatures. They would have gone totally into the supernatural and horror realm. And that's what you need to do. That's all it is. Yeah. But yeah, I'm looking forward to Sandman. Hopefully they can do it right. So many people have tried. Joseph Gordon-Levitt at one point was trying to produce something that he was going to star in and couldn't get it. He couldn't get it to work and gave up on it. So, and I was kind of surprised because I've seen the stuff that he's worked on before, and yeah, he can actually do some really good stuff as a producer and actor and things like that. And he just couldn't do it. So we'll see what happens. I mean, yes, I know Neil Gaiman and David Goyer are the showrunners on that. But yeah, David Goyer is what worries me. Well, Neil Gaiman worries me too. From all the stories I've heard about how controlling he is, I should say. It bums me out that they had planned on introducing Constantine and Swamp Thing. What could have been exactly? Yeah. There are vampires in Swamp Thing. Yes, there are. All right. So good news, everyone. San Diego Comic-Con is going to keep the convention in San Diego through 2024. They just signed a new deal yesterday, if I remember correctly. And that's what the case is. They're actually going to keep it through 2024. And I'm happy with that because that means I don't need to travel, get a fucking hotel room, all that kind of stuff. I still have to travel to it. But I mean, it's a trolley ride for me. It's a long trolley ride, but it's a trolley ride just in and of itself. Yes, they've been talking about moving this thing since 2005, Viking Bitch. 2006, somewhere around there. It's always a constant struggle. And there's no way in hell the hotels are going to let go of that. It's like a $1.7 billion boon for them every year. So that is not, it's not going to happen. There's no way in hell that San Diego is going to give this thing up. It's not going to Las Vegas. It's not going to Anaheim or Los Angeles. No one wants to go to fucking Los Angeles for this thing. What, you're going to go to the Staples Center and go get shot right across the street or walking in? Not going to happen. You know? Yeah, it's in LA, Las Vegas. What, you're going to put it at the convention center out there? I've been to the convention center out there. It's a shithole. I'm sorry. Again, same thing. True story. CES 2011, I believe it was. I'm in a hotel that is literally walking distance from the convention center with a couple friends of mine because we all got in a hotel room. We're in there for the night. This is the night before CES starts. We hear pop, pop outside in the parking lot. It's the sound of a 9mm going off. Two shots of a 9mm out in the parking lot. Yeah. And first thing we're thinking is, okay, we're on the third floor, one of a very large hotel. And CES is a death trap. Exactly. And number two, our door is not steel or anything like that. So yeah, there was a very sleepless night. Let's just say that much. EJAR, yes, I know there are different things about SD as well that can happen, but during that time, I don't like the Staples Center, EJAR. There's no way in hell I'm going to the Staples Center for a Comic-Con. Same thing, like if I'm going to go to Anaheim for WonderCon or something like that. The thing I used to love about when WonderCon moved from San Francisco to Anaheim, which was a big mistake, by the way, is that Disneyland, right across the street from the convention center, said if you had a WonderCon badge, which you could pay $20 to get a WonderCon badge, they would give you a half price discount on a Disneyland entry pass for the day. So people would go and buy a Wonderland or WonderCon ticket for $20 and then go right across the street to Disneyland and spend all day at Disneyland for half price, which was still the $20 on top of whatever the half price was for a Disneyland ticket, was still cheaper than a Disneyland ticket. That right there is smart thinking on Disneyland's part. And it affected their WonderCon's attendance too, big time. And I think they had a little talking to, and they no longer do that anymore. Yeah. EJAR says, I don't like it either. It's not LA. That's the problem. It's all the assholes that come from here from around the country. Yeah, I'm sorry, EJAR, but it's in a bad neighborhood. And I'm talking about, I come from San Francisco. I know what bad neighborhoods are. That's a bad neighborhood where Staples Center is. So, yes, Joe, Swamp Thing needs Batman, Constantine, Etrigan, Blue Devil, Deadman, and Zatanna. I don't know if you left anybody out. I think that's a pretty good start right there. I've never been to DragonCon, Mr. Roboto. It's out in Atlanta. And now I've heard nothing but good things about DragonCon, so I don't know. But yeah. Nope, not about to go to Staples Center. But with that said, I'm happy that they're staying for at least another 5 years. And we'll see what happens after that. It'll get renewed again. And of course, they're going to bring up, are we going to expand the convention center and blah, blah, blah. So I doubt that's going to happen. Do they want to move to make more money? No. What's happening is space. They can only allow 150,000 people into the convention center. That is their cap. It used to be 110,000 people, and then they got the fire marshal to relax a little bit on there and allow another 40,000 people in. So it's 150,000 people. So you have 150,000 people in that space. Then you also have the hotels on either side of the convention center that are also hosting events. They've contracted out the hotel convention spaces there, and so they have panels in those hotels as well as exhibits in those hotels. And then you have across the street. So now they've closed off the street in front of the convention center because of foot traffic. People were getting hit by cars and whatnot running across the street and everything like that. And now they've closed that off, but there's hotels across the street that also have stuff going on. Then you have Petco Park, which is the big stadium over there that the Padres play in. They have their parking lot gets taken over by the con as well. And there's a park on the other side of Petco Park that gets taken over by Comic-Con with exhibits and things like. So yes, it's a huge freaking thing. You get like 500,000 people down there a day easily that are moving in and out. And I'm talking people with badges, people without badges, celebrities, non-celebrities, you name it. 500,000 people going through there. Are hotel and motels cheaper in Los Angeles? I don't think so, Mr. Abato. They're really about the same. In 5 years, they'll threaten to move unless they get a tax break. They actually do get a tax break. They get a really, really good tax break, Slurmy. So, yeah, it's not going to be another tax break thing. See if I still have fun at work. So, what else we have? I see they want to be bigger. Yeah, they just need more room. They want to have more room. I'm still waiting for the bubble to burst on this thing as well. You can't have it grow as much as this without at some point having it burst and coming back down again. Yeah. But I digress. I talk about Comic-Con a lot. That's because I've been to it a lot. And it's a fun place to go to. Not if you like crowds. If you don't like crowds, then yes, it's not going to be a fun place for you. So, what else do I have here going on? That's right. So, the creator of Akira, yes, that Akira, Katsuhiro Otomo, said at the Anime Expo in Los Angeles that he was announcing his third anime feature called Orbital Era, but he also said that they're going to be working on an Akira series, a new anime series. And it's going to be a continuation of the first series and the movie, of course. As long as he's working on it, I'm fine with it, quite honestly. I want to see more of this world. I think it'd be kind of cool. And that he's going back to it after all this time. So they're also releasing a 4K remastering of the movie, of the 1988 movie, which is going to be cool. And it's going to be released in April of 2020 in Japan, and probably soon after here as well. But to have a new series of that coming up, that's not bad, quite honestly. I want to see more of that. Yes, Akira is immortal. Yes, it is. Write that handbook for newbies. I will be doing a video, Pen Farm Girl, on some stuff. Squirrel. What am I jumping all over the place, Joe? Is that what's going on? I jumped from Comic-Con over to Akira. It's all related. Akira came from manga, which was a comic book. So see how it's related? It's actually a good segue. Yes, it is. Not a fan of crowds like I used to be, Ed Burr. Yeah, Ed Burr, I'm not a fan of crowds either, but I like the stuff that's there. is what I like. That's what I go for. I go for the experience of the stuff that's there. And I also like seeing, some of the celebrities that are there too and whatnot, and hearing what they have to say, and maybe even ask them a question or two, which is kind of nice. It's stuff that you don't get to do outside, everyday experience, unless you work in Hollywood or you work, as an entertainment producer or something like that. I should say a big entertainment producer. I'm very small entertainment producer, I guess you could say. Layers, man, layers. Exactly. That's what it's supposed to be. It's all supposed to be about layers within layers. And yes, I even get tired of the crowds too at con, and I have ways of getting away from them fairly quickly. And I know my spots, which I will never give up those secrets on how to get away. Mr. Roboto, for real, Dennis, no, I would not rent a room because I don't have an extra room to rent. One, I am too far away from the con for anybody to, in their right mind, to rent out this way. And yeah, not going to happen. I can imagine it's very loud at con. It's actually surprisingly not that bad, believe it or not, Viking Bitch. It's not one of those things where your ears are like, oh my God, It's there's a din, yes, but it's not like overwhelming kind of thing. Yes, hotel prices are crazy. They go up like about I think it's like 1,000% or something like that. It's ridiculous. I was talking to somebody about this fairly recently, and a crappy hotel that was out in Point Loma, the Point Loma area, literally in the middle of some strip clubs. A buddy of mine and I stayed at that place. We're sharing a room one year. This is when I lived up in San Francisco and was coming down for the con. And what were we paying? I want to say we paid, because we were there for 4 nights. And I want to say it was something like, I think it was $1,000 altogether, if I'm not mistaken. Or no, I take that back. It was 800 is what it was. So it was $400 a piece for a really shitty motel room, I should say. But we were within walking distance. I mean, if you open up the door to the motel room, you could smell coconut oil coming from the strip clubs. Yes, Pepper is too mean to share the house. She, likes doing nut shots. She's sneaky about it too. Viking Bitch, yes, it is some bullshit, but that is the deal that the convention, the hotels have with everybody else. Quite honestly, the hotels that are right next to the con charge some fucking outrageous rates, and you can't just get it for one night. You have to get it for multiple nights. So you are locked in on multiple nights. You cannot just go, oh, I just want it for Saturday night. Doesn't work that way. Yeah, you have to do, I think it's like 2 or 3 nights minimum. You would think that, Viking Bitch, but like I said, these are strip clubs and not a great part of town. So, yeah. No. Yeah, thanks, Mr. Roboto. Yeah. What else do we have? Ed Burr says, I'm in the hotel industry. It's common practice for events. Yeah, it is common practice for big events when they know that demand is going to be the highest, that they just jack up rates completely. So ridiculous. Very, very ridiculous. So what else do I have going on here? I don't know if anyone saw the trailer for Jumanji: The Next Level, but that just came out this week, and they've added a little something different to it. So instead of the regular kids that were involved, so the regular kids are involved in it that were in the first Jumanji movie, which was actually a lot of fun, by the way. They've added in Danny Glover and Danny DeVito. And those two characters that they play are the newest people to get sucked into the game. And of course, These are old guys who don't know what a video game is. And just it looked pretty funny. That's all I can say. Yeah, Pen Farm Girl, I agreed. It looked pretty funny. I'm gonna go. So no, Mr. Roboto, I do not cosplay. So I was actually it looks like a lot of fun. I think I'll go and see it. Yeah, Danny Glover and Danny DeVito. It's go and watch the trailer. It's actually a lot of fun. If you go on my Facebook page, again, I have it posted up there. You can go take a look at the trailer, or you can go to YouTube and go and search for it as well. Either way. But we also had dun, 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 we had a teaser trailer for Preacher, which returns for its final season on Sunday, August 4th. Am I covering Preacher? Yes, I am. Why? Yes, I am. It is its final episode, or final season, I should say. So why not? Yeah. And again, looking forward to that as well. Exactly, Viking Bitch. I'm looking forward to it. We'll see how they end it out, if it's going to be good or bad. I mean, after all, this is the TV show that ended a marriage. Yes, the two leads are married to each other, or were married to each other, and got to see how it goes. I've read Preacher, haven't seen it though. First season's good, second season sucks, third season's good, and now we're into the fourth and final season. Yeah. And hopefully that means Armageddon. And no, I'm not talking about, in general, I'm talking about on the show. So, wow, you even like the bad second season Pen Farm Girl where they got stuck in Louisiana, stuck in the apartment? Because that was a fucking horrible season. That was like pulling teeth trying to watch that season. It just took forever to get through. Yeah. I'll watch it then, Slow Summer. It had its moments, Pen Farm World, but very few and far in between. I mean, I think it had like 3 good scenes. That was it. Yes, we will get more Hairstar. Hairstar, yes, is one of my favorite characters as well. Yes. I'm definitely looking forward to that. So coming up fairly quickly, actually, on July 16th, David Harbour is starring in yet another Netflix series. That looks very weird. There's a trailer up for it. It's called Frankenstein's Monster Frankenstein. And David Harbour is supposed to be playing himself and his dad, who used to be an actor in the 70s, I guess it was, and was involved in a really bad, I guess, Frankenstein series is what was going on. And so it's a mockumentary is really what it is. And it looks pretty damn funny. That's all I have to say. And that one, yeah, I can, Frankenstein's Monster Frankenstein is what it's called, Pen Farm Girl. I actually have to read it sometimes in order to get it because it's really weird. But yeah, July 16th it comes out. Hold on while I view and listen to that again. Hold on while I rewind and listen to that again. Yes. Like what we do in the shadows. I don't know how they're going to do it, Viking Bitch. It looks more like it might be kind of like that. Slurmy discusses the Frankenstein Chronicles on Netflix was interesting. It was a new take and had Sean Bean and he doesn't die. Yeah, that's the reason why it wasn't good, Slurmy, because he didn't die. We've already come to the fact that Sean Bean needs to die in something in order for it to be good. You lost me? Is what happened? Did I crap out here? Oh no, I'm still on. I'm still good. I didn't hit the end stream or anything like that. Okay. Well, yeah, I'm still here. But he did die. He was the creature. Hey, Joker the Third. You missed earlier on when I said you told me that I sucked because I didn't have any tiers set up for Patreon. You were buffering earlier, Ed Brewer. Yeah, it sometimes happens. I know. Yeah, YouTube isn't the most reliable thing in the world. Also, my internet connection isn't the most reliable thing in the world either. So a little combination of the two. And then if your internet connection kind of sucks as well, it all does it. What superhero properties do you think Rogan will take on next? The Boys, Mr. Roboto. That's what he's working on right now. Open, I thought he lived. Spoilers, guys. Spoilers. Sean was a little too old to pull off the rebirth scene naked, but he's Sean Bean, so I'll allow it. Yeah, that's something I don't need to see. Let's see what else we got here. So, Winona Earp. Has anybody watched Winona Earp on Sci-Fi? It's actually a good series. It's a lot of fun, quite honestly. It's based on a comic book. It is about the descendants of the Earp family, Winona Earp being the latest descendant of the Earps. And she lives in a town. So Wyatt Earp basically condemned, I forget how many souls it was, to hell with this gun that he had. And they keep coming back every time the latest Earp, the oldest Earp dies, and then the youngest, or whoever the next in line is, whoever the oldest Earp is, I should say, ends up taking the mantle again. And all these souls come back, but they're stuck in this town. They're stuck within the triangle. And it's actually fairly interesting. They're called revenants, is what they are. And this is what's going on. Am I just a little me either? What's going on? How many times can you say Earp? I can say Earp quite a bit. I'll watch the video and ask Dennis questions in the comments. Oh, yeah, that's good. I thought maybe my feed all of a sudden just died for a second. So it's actually a lot of fun. Well, it finally got a season 4 renewal. It's through IDW, the comic, and IDW is the one that's funding it. IDW is circling the drain right now like crazy. So they didn't have the funds, of course, for it. And Sci-Fi funds a little bit of it as well. But they had to wait so long for IDW to come up with the funds that, which now season 4 is a green light to go, except that all the cast, their contracts expired. So they're actually going to need to renegotiate the contracts with the cast, sign them back up for a season 4, and I'm pretty sure this is going to be it. This is going to be the last season for Winona Earp. Show has funding now. Still, Mad Dolls is off the show. Really? Yes, Viking Bitch, it is bad management. So it's IDW. IDW, they've spent a lot of money on some big licenses. I mean, yeah, Ghostbusters, things like that. And yeah, they didn't manage their money well. They're based here in San Diego, by the way. I've walked past their offices quite a few times. I watched Van Helsing, but skipped Winona Ryder. See, Penn Farm Girl, I did the opposite. I watched Winona Ryder and I skipped Van Helsing. I tried watching Van Helsing. I couldn't get into it. No, Mr. Roboto, they haven't announced that as of yet. They haven't announced when Conan O'Brien's Comic-Con tickets are available or not. I tend to make bad choices, what Penn Farm Girl says. It's honestly, it's whatever floats your boat. And I just kind of like the humor of Winona Ryder or Winona Earp. Winona Ryder. Wow. Yeah. But I like the humor of Winona Earp. It's pretty funny. And I like the character. I mean, the cast. The cast is actually pretty good too. So yeah. And some of the actors have been migrating out to doing different things right now. Like Winona Earp herself is actually in this movie that's coming out fairly soon about this bride being hunted by her in-laws. Yeah. John Crichton named his uh, uh, pulse pistol Winona. That's a. I'm not going to say anything. Who's John Crichton, by the way? Wasn't he the guy who wrote Westworld? I kid. I know he's the guy that was on Doctor Who. And I'm not looking at the chat right now, so. In other news, It director Andy, and I'm going to murder his last name, Muschietti is in talks to direct the Flash movie, the ever fucking never dying Flash movie, with somehow Ezra Miller is still attached to it. I don't know how he's still attached to it because he sucked as the Flash. He should not have been Barry Allen. And yes, I'm just not interested in him doing this. So Christina Hodson, who wrote Bumblebee and Birds of Prey, is being eyed to write the script right now. Ezra Miller, like I said, has remained attached to play the Flash again. And then Andy, the guy who directed It and It Chapter 2, is in talks to direct the movie. Honestly, I don't care. I'm not interested in this. I would like to be, but yeah, if you have Ezra Miller attached to it still, I have no interest in this whatsoever. She's ignoring me. Joker the Third says Doc is like a poor man Timothy Oliphant from Justified. He's actually pretty good, Joker. I like him. He's not bad. And as he gets further along, he moves away from trying to play Timothy Oliphant. I have to admit. He was Barry Peter Parker. No, he wasn't Barry Peter Parker. He was just, I don't know. He sucked. Is it still going to be Flashpoint? Your guess is as good as mine, Joe. Who knows what they're going to do now at this point? I'm hoping not. I don't know. They just need to do a lighter tone. They really need to do a lighter tone for the Flash. The Flash is not some dark brooding character. That's what the CW shit has become now. It got infected by the Arrowverse stuff and by Arrow itself. And it needs to move away from that. You need to go into the more lighthearted. That's what Flash is. Flash is supposed to be about hope. The first season of the CW Flash is a perfect example of what it should have been. So, yeah. See you, Mr. Roboto. Have fun at work. But yeah, it's not something I'm really interested in seeing, quite honestly, with Ezra Miller attached to it. You need somebody who has a bit more charm, I guess you could say. Yeah. I would even like to see Adam Driver as the Flash. I think he has enough charm. I've seen him in enough comedies now, and I've seen him acting away from that Star Wars dreck, that he would make a really good Flash. Yeah. I like Ezra Miller in dramas. Yeah, he could stay in those. He really, really sucks as Barry Allen. But yeah. Yeah, Pen Farm Girl. I thought he was the worst thing about Justice League. And that's saying a lot. I mean, that's saying a hell of a lot, because that movie wasn't good. Not by a long shot. Excuse me. So, Netflix has already greenlit a second season of an animated series based on Pacific Rim that hasn't aired yet and won't air until about mid 2020. What the hell? Yes, it's CGI. It's computer generated stuff. And oh, you mean the Adam Driver choice? Okay. Yeah, it's a weird take that they're actually doing a Pacific. I mean, they've greenlit a second season. Okay, it's Netflix. I understand they want to try and have a little bit more library of stuff that people are going to come back to, and not just random one-offs here and there. They're trying to hone it in. They're trying to tighten in the reins a bit instead of throwing 780, is it 780 different original things a year out there for people, but try and bring it down and say, hey, we've got X amount of series that we're going to do, and we have sequels to them. You didn't miss anything, Joker, by not finishing the last season of Arrow. It's really not worth it. But Pacific Rim, the second one really sucked. That movie was bad. That movie was fucking horrible. I didn't know how bad it was. People said it was really bad, and then I saw it on as one of the movie channels. I can't remember which one it was, and I was like, wow, that was really shitty. Really, they're doing 780 different. Yeah, Viking Bitch. I believe they said they were doing about 700 and some odd different shows, or between movies, TV shows, and all that stuff. It's like 780 different things that they are releasing this year. I like the first Pacific Rim, Joker. I did. It needed a bit more something to it. I don't know what, but it was good. Yeah, well, that's why they're I forget how many $1 billion that they owe, that are in debt to. Billion with a B. Yes, Netflix. So they're probably going to get bought out at some point in time. They're throwing everything they can at the wall to keep viewers. They have the most subscribers right now of anybody for the streaming services. And yeah, that includes, I believe it includes Amazon as well. So if I'm not mistaken, Pacific Rim was fun, Joe Greer. It wasn't bad. Yeah, 1 was really good. 2 was just a waste of time. Complete and total waste of time. Oh, the sequel. Yeah. The sequel was just horrible. And yeah, I'm not a fan of John Boyega. Oh, man. That was some just cringy acting in the second Pacific Rim. Yes, Netflix has been around the longest, Viking Bitch. You're right. They were the first ones to start doing streaming. I believe. Yeah, because Netflix or Amazon didn't start doing their streaming until after Netflix. So yeah. And there you go. Well, then they shouldn't. They know better. Not really. They're trying everything they can to stay on top. And when you're on top, usually you're going to fall. That's a euphemism for something else too, but I'm not going to go there because I'm not 13 anymore. I just act like it sometimes. So, my final thing that I've got to talk about here. So, the original creator of The Mask, you remember The Mask with Jim Carrey way back when in the 90s? Well, it was based on a comic, and it was actually a fairly dark, gritty, and violent comic, quite honestly. He wants to remake the movie because I'm tired of the fucking word reboot. Reboot means that something went wrong, it didn't do well, so you're redoing the movie fairly close to when it happened. This is a 20 some odd year old movie now, The Mask. Yes. So they are remaking The Mask, and he wants to use a certain female comedian that he has in mind for a gritty remake. And I'm fairly sure that comedian that he has in mind, because he says it's a physical comedian, is Melissa McCarthy. Yeah, I'm fairly sure that's who he has in mind. Because I can't think of any other female comedian, excuse me, that is going to be able to do that kind of physical comedy. But she will. Yeah. So I found it interesting that they're actually, I mean, I'm surprised it took them this long to remake it. Well, then again, I'm not, because of the whole Son of the Mask thing that came out with Jamie Kennedy. That movie was dog shit and killed that property outright. I mean, it just staked it, burned it to the ground, nuked it from orbit, and I mean, salted the earth when it was done. It was pretty really bad. Did you see Shape of Water? I have not, Joe Greer. Yeah. Ejar says, "Oh, good God, no! Make it stop." Uh, yeah, Viking bitch. No, 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 no. This is a terrible idea. Melissa is only funny in one character, but this is not it. Yeah, I'm. You can do a female. So they in the comics. So the Mask comic was still going on in Dark Horse for a while, and they did have a female iteration of that character, and it was really good. They can do it, but they need to bring somebody else in, and you don't really need to do. Quite honestly, I would like to see Tessa Thompson in that role. I think she could do it. She showed a little bit of comedic acting in Thor Ragnarok. I could see her doing it. What did you really think about Son of the Mask, Dennis? Yeah, that movie was just bad. I think that ended Jamie Kennedy's career too, if I'm not mistaken. Because you don't hear anything from him anymore. He's gone, like gone, gone. Ed Brewer says it's funny just thinking about it, not haha funny either. Was a new Pete's Dragon reboot or a remake? It was a remake, Joe Greer. It was a remake, not a reboot. Um, I still go by what Michael Caine had said is you do not remake good movies from years ago. You remake bad movies. Yeah. So when he knows a thing or two about remaking bad movies, because he's done some bad movies too, but he's also done some good movies. And one of the great remakes that he was in was Dirty Rotten Scoundrels. That was a remake of a Marlon Brando movie from way back when. That was a shitty movie. And him and Steve Martin in Dirty Rotten Scoundrels in '88 did a fantastic movie. If you haven't seen it, it's a great movie. It's fantastic, and it also has the Emperor in it as Michael Caine's butler, the Emperor from Star Wars, I should say, Palpatine. Do you often hear voices, Slurmy? Yeah. Let's see. Viking Bitch says exactly. Do not remake good movies. It's always a failure to remake a good movie. You mean like Ghostbusters? Um, or well, I don't consider Top Gun a good movie. I know a lot of people do, but yeah, they're essentially remaking Top Gun: The Next Generation. Slurmy Scott says, "Love Dune. Hope they don't fuck it up with the remake, but I'm willing to give it a shot." Uh, yeah, it's Dennis Villanueva. I can never pronounce his last name, and I'm not a fan of his, so I can either confirm or deny that it'll be good. Didn't Jamie Kennedy marry a nice-looking actress? I think he did. I have yet to see a remake of a good movie that has succeeded. Um, yeah, I haven't either. Viking Bitch, I have to agree with you on that. Remake Weekend at Bernie's. Weekend at Bernie's was good. Or, here's another idea. Do something new. Something interesting. Take a fucking chance. There's stuff out there. Again, there's an entire bookshelf behind me of ideas. Pick one. Fucking make it into a movie. Do something new. Take a chance. Audiences want to see something new as well. They get bored. They don't want to see the same old shit over and over again. Can you make a good spin-off series of a great movie? Possibly Cordell Fenneville. I'm trying to think of an example, but I can't offhand. But it could be possible. I mean, you do it with TV shows time to time. I mean, Laverne and Shirley was a spinoff of Happy Days. So there you go. Mork was also a spinoff, of Happy Days. Alien Nation, the TV show, that was a spinoff movie. Was that a spinoff movie? Well, there was a spinoff the movie, yes, but yeah. And by the way, they were going to remake Alien Nation, the movie, and luckily Fox killed that too, or I should say Disney killed it for them. They just recently did that. Last Resort with Johnny Depp, with John Denny. I don't know. Yeah, Steve Martin. Steve Martin at the table. Excuse me, I have to go pee. Then he's done. Yeah. Yes, that whole Ruprecht the Monkey Boy. That was actually remade fairly recently with Rebel Wilson. Dirty Rotten Scoundrels was remade, I should say, by Rebel Wilson and God, I can't remember, Anne Hathaway. Anne Hathaway playing the Michael Caine, and of course Rebel Wilson playing the Steve Martin character. And I guess they do it beat for beat almost. They copy the Michael Caine Steve Martin movie and do a shit job of it, from what I understand. I'm just interested to see how bad it is. That's the only reason why I want to see it. I want to see how bad it is. But I'm just going to wait till it comes out. I think it should be coming out next week on cable. 12 Farm Girl, Pen Farm. Oh my God, my brain is gone. 12 Monkeys, great movie and TV series. So the TV series was originally never supposed to be built on that 12 Monkeys movie. It was called Splinter to begin with and had an entirely different premise until Sci-Fi wanted to do a TV show about 12 Monkeys. And so they said, okay, if you want to make that Splinter TV show, you're going to merge it with 12 Monkeys and you're going to give us a series. Yeah, 12 Farm Girls Dancing, exactly. No, Cordell Fenneville. I'll sit here and wait for you. You're not rude, man. That's fine. You can say hi to people. I loved all the made-for-TV Alien Nation movies too. I have them all on disc. So you're the one who's bought them. I'm sorry. I've seen them before too. I was actually a big fan of the show as well. But yeah. Fox kills everything. Joker the Third, no, with Hector, Eleanor, and the blonde from Police Academy. Oh, I don't know what you guys are talking about. The French original. Oh, okay. Oh, about 12 Monkeys. Yes, that's right. Because even that was a remake. That's right. 12 Monkeys is a remake of a French original movie. That's correct. There you go. So there's another good remake of a movie that was out there. But then again, it's Terry Gilliam. So what do you want? I still have to take a look at The Man Who Killed Don Quixote whenever that comes out. I'm afraid of it, but at the same time, I'm interested in it at the same time. It's just one of those things. It's pulling me in two different directions. Farm Girl, not a monkey? I don't think so. So that's pretty much all I've got for news items. Nothing, like I said, not a great week for news, but not a horrible week either. Excuse me, that whole Walking Dead thing kind of eclipsed a lot of things. The Walking Dead comic ending. And I have to watch it. Is it good, Pen Farm Girl? I haven't seen it, so I'm waiting until it comes out like on cable or something like that. There we go, HR. Yes, the movie that 12 Monkeys was based on was Les Jetés. And my French is horrible too, from 1962. Interesting. I know wasn't it a short film too, or it was, I don't even think it was like an hour long, if I remember correctly, HR. You can correct me on that one, but yeah, fairly interesting. But that's what Terry Gilliam does. He makes some really damn good movies, some really crazy movies. La Jetée is what Cordell Fenneval says. Again, my French is horrible. I never took French, so I took 7 years of Spanish, and I don't remember any of it. So, ¿Dónde está la biblioteca, Pablo? There you go. It's about as basic as I get. Far superior story, plot, approximately 25, 30. Okay, it's 25 to 30 minutes. I knew it was like under an hour. I remember. It was tickling the back of my head. Ed Brewer says, looks like Voltron Defender of the Universe on your. Yes, it is Voltron the Defender. That was from last year's Comic-Con that I got that. And it actually transforms into the lions. Ed Brewer. I can take it apart and painstakingly put them back together into the lions. Takes fucking forever, but it does work. I can swear in Spanish. Hey, I know a couple swear words as well in Spanish. It looks like it's available on YouTube. 26 minutes. I know what I'm doing after SBO. Hey, all right. Hey, Stanley. What's going on? I can swear in German. Nice. Schweinhund. That's about all I know. Again, that's from playing Castle Wolfenstein. The old, 16-bit game. Oh, I'm sorry. I was just laughing at Pepper. She's laying on the edge of the couch so that she can reach the fan that just basically gets to the edge of the couch. And so she's literally hanging off with her head so she can get a little bit of the fan blowing onto her at that point. I don't know what that's like, Stanley Tweedle. Yeah. Life? What is that? Social life? No, I do. I know what that is sometimes. The dog, cat, pepper. Yes, exactly. That's what she is. She really is. I don't know what she's doing right now, but okay. There we go. So, with that said, and I'm out of stuff to tell you about. Thanks, Pen Farm Girl. So, The Walking Dead, the comic, is finally dead, Stanley Tweedle. Just the comic, not the TV show. So, with that said, I will let you guys go. If you like what you see here, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. Also, if you're still on the fence, you can take a look at the video that's going to be up here. It's going to take a video from my vast video library just for you. Pop it up there. Last night's Swamp Thing is going to be right up here, so you can, and he's also here too. Tiki, right there. You can take a look at that as well. And you can take a look at my, you can follow me by hitting the bell down below. If you've already hit the bell, don't hit it again. It will unclick it. You can go into the bell settings and get as many or as little notifications as you want from me. I also have my schedule up on suspendedfanimation.com and also on my Facebook page for Suspended Fanimation. I have a Twitter, I have an Instagram, I have a Patreon page, which I haven't set up the tiers as of yet. Yes, I know, Joe Greer, I suck because I haven't set up the tiers. That's what happens. I'm waiting until I get some stuff put into place before I actually set up those tiers. The Instagram is going to be blowing up in the next couple of weeks when Comic-Con takes off. There you go. So, Stanley, I was 10 minutes late. You'd think I'd committed a crime. I had to go to the library. Who goes to the library anymore, Slurmy? It's all online now. That's why we're giving you grief. Haven't you heard of Amazon, man? You can actually rent books, not rent books, but you can check them out like a library book now on your e-Kindle, on your Kindle. There we go. So with that said, take a look at the video, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. I'm going to let you guys go for the day. Thank you to everyone who joined me today in the chat. It was a lot of fun. Also, thank you if you made it all the way through the end of the video going through this. Thank you very much. What is this e-Kindle thing you speak of? Take a look on Amazon Prime, man. And I will see you on Monday for Legion. Legion is what we got. Wednesday, of course, is Krypton. Thursday is iZombie Returns, and iZombie is really what the show is called, not iZombie Returns. And Friday is Swamp Thing. And of course, next Saturday is Saturday Morning Blast Off. So there we go. So yes, I will see you again for Legion on Monday. Thank you, everybody. Don't let the door hit your ass on the way out. Otherwise, you may find out that, I don't know, you paid way too much for your hotel room at Comic-Con and are kind of regretting it now. Thanks, everybody. Good night, or good day, I should say. Not good night. I'm so used to saying good night. See you, everybody. Thanks.